You guys, welcome to the next movement breakdown. We have the kettlebell snatch this week. We have a couple things we want to talk about. We'll talk about a couple safety items to check for before we start the movement. We'll hit some mobility pieces to get ready to do the movement itself. We'll talk about the pieces of it. What makes up a kettlebell snatch? What do you need to be able to do safely in order to complete the movement? We'll then work on the movement itself. We'll talk about some faults and some fixes, and we'll show you how to connect the reps smoothly. The last thing we'll do is give you guys a challenge or a test, so stay tuned until the end and find out what that is. So when it comes to the mobility for the kettlebell snatch, we need to be able to get into a good overhead position. We are going to be doing a lot of hip extensions, so we want to warm up the hamstrings, and we want to hit the wrists, and also maybe a little bit of that interior shoulder rotation, and we'll do that with our kettlebell that we're going to snatch later. Our standard overhead stretch you guys do quite a bit. If you got a band and a door frame or a towel, what I like to say is let your head be heavy, and I want you to let your head sink to the ground, let that arm get extended overhead. I would probably spend 30 seconds per side, maybe not even that long, but not anywhere more than 40 seconds. I just want to hit those positions nicely and get ready for the overhead. Move on to the kettlebell shoulder smash. If you have a buddy, they can do this for you, but since most of us are quarantined, we're going to be at home, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna put that kettlebell on my shoulder and I'm gonna rotate my arm through this internal external rotation piece. So my arm's at a 90-degree angle. I'm gonna try and push that hand to the ground. It's not gonna go all the way, but you'll see that moment where my shoulder comes up. That's kind of the point I'm trying to get a little bit further into. I'd probably go through 10 to 20 rotations on each side. Take care that you're not passing the kettlebell over your face, because we don't wanna put ourselves in any danger there. While you're down there, guys, go ahead and hit the wrists, sit back, push the palms to the ground, open those wrists up. And the final piece is just gonna be some leg swings. Start getting the hamstrings ready, keep foot flat on the ground, probably 10 each leg, and get the hips ready to extend. We're ready to take a look at the prerequisites you need to do the movement. We're gonna look at the one arm swing and the one arm jerk. We'll try this with both arms, and we will start with a strong flat back. We're gonna pick up the kettlebell. Now I'm gonna go for a one arm swing to about to eye level. We're gonna drive through the heels. Try both arms, 5 reps. As far as that single arm jerk is concerned, we're gonna start in the front rack position. I wanna go for a dip drive. I'm gonna punch through, and I'm gonna stand and extend. I'm looking for a nice clean lockout position, so I want the arm to be straight and the arm or the kettlebell to be locked out over my shoulder and my hip and my ankle. Both arms should be able to get into that lockout position cleanly. This helps us with the punch through, which will come into play when we get into that snatch. Let's put the movement together, and we're gonna do this in 3 parts. We wanna see what the swing looks like, and then we're gonna go for a high pull, and we're gonna follow with a push through. So we'll start with that single arm swing. We're gonna drive through the heels. Once we're in that about eye level height, the high pull. We can't hold here. If we hold, that kettlebell is gonna drop. And then the final push through. So adding on from that high pull, I will punch then towards the ceiling, and the kettlebell is going to rotate around my hand. Again, swing, high pull, punch through. Now that our kettlebell snatch is starting to look like an actual snatch, let's talk about a couple of the common faults you guys might run into. We'll break these into 2 categories. We'll call them positional faults, so being out of position in a specific area, and then we'll have a timing fault, so not doing things at the right time. Positional faults can come from the shoulder, so if I don't get that arm locked out overhead, you can see it's in front of my body. This might happen if I'm trying to go quick. I never actually get that locked out overhead. I could be trying to, if I don't have good shoulder mobility, I could be trying to stick my head through and really craning my neck. And I could also not stay locked out, I could stay kind of out to the side. So I want to make sure that we are locked up overhead, shoulders extended, the head is going to be neutral at the top. For the bad timing movements, what you might see is not bending the arm. If we forget to do that high pull and we swing all the way around the top, you can see that kettlebell is pretty jarring on my hand. It's going to break my wrist if I do it too many more times, so that's the only demo you're going to get. Or if I don't try and beat the kettlebell around so it lands soft, it's going to land a little bit harder. It can also pull me forward. If I'm into that swing and I'm really on my toes, every time I try and do that snatch, pulling me forward a little bit. So we gotta stay back on the heels. So good positions, and then timing that pull and push so you don't have an impact on the forearm. All right guys, congratulations. We now know how to kettlebell snatch. We wanna talk about starting to connect the reps smoothly. What we're gonna do is go over 2 common ways to bring this thing down. And we'll start with the easy one. We're gonna go for our snatch. Once we're overhead, I'm gonna bring it down to the shoulder and I'm gonna initiate my next swing from this front rack position. This is nice. It's gonna slow it down a little bit. We get a little bit of rest at the top. We get a little bit of rest at the shoulder. And allows me to kind of move through these smoothly. If we want to add speed, we're going to swing right down from the top. So I'm going to pop that kettlebell, and I'm going to swing right from the top. This is going to be quicker. It's going to keep the intensity a little higher. You still get a little rest at the top, but you're not going to get the negative on the press, and it's going to cycle them more quickly, which will ultimately increase power output for the workout. All right, so now we know how to kettlebell snatch, and we want to talk about a common test you guys might be interested in trying out. It's the RKC Test, stands for the Russian Kettlebell Certification, and the goal for this is to complete 100 snatches in 5 minutes. You can switch arms as often as you like, but you need to keep moving throughout the entire 5 minutes in order to get them done. You can switch probably on the downswing. Good strategy for this would be to probably get a large number on each arm before switching, because switching is going to take a little bit more time. So I want you guys to try this. If you have a kettlebell at home, see how many you can get in 5 minutes. Set your clock for 5 minutes, get a big set on one of your arms, and then do the same thing on your other arm. How far can you get? Can you get 100? It's actually pretty difficult to do 100, so I'd like to see if anyone can get there. And if we don't think we're ready for that, let's just see your best kettlebell snatch. Comment below with a video of your kettlebell snatch. We can see what it looks like. You guys, thanks for watching the CrossFit NOLA movement breakdown of the kettlebell snatch. Be sure to comment with your video of your single best snatch or your results of the RKC test. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for our next movement breakdown coming out next week, and for our daily workout briefings and demos. We'll see you next time. Bye.